Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another talk on Evil Dead the game. We got gameplay both on the Survivor and the Kandarian Demon side. It does not show a full match on both sides, but it shows enough to kind of see the back and forth of the game, enough to see that it's also going to be pretty fun. At least it looks that way. The back and forth looks interesting. If you look at the, I won't pause it or anything here. You guys can do that because the videos are posted up on Game Informer. But if you watch those videos, you'll see that their abilities, each of them do have their own abilities, and it seems like they have 3 perks to go with it. Very DBD-esque. So, kind of similar to DBD, but in a way that is a little differed. Is in DBD the killer had a main ability and then you could apply perks, and then the survivors would have their perks, right? And their specific perks that they start with. Eventually you start sharing them with other survivors. Seems like with Evil Dead that the survivors will have a main ability, kind of like the killers do in DBD, but then they also have their perks underneath. I'm not sure, they don't make it clear or not because they haven't leveled much up yet, but it seems like you'll be able to change perks around eventually after you start leveling a character up, but they do have the main 3 that they start with. For example, reading one off here, Ash Williams, it says he has the main ability of when activated, this ability reduces fear levels for you and nearby teammates. That's his main ability. And then the 3 perks underneath: alternative healing, marked target damage, marked target healing. And then those have to deal with where you attack an enemy. Another teammate that does attack following your attack will give them a healing perk, essentially. If you read those, you'll see what they are individually. I'm thinking that when you start to level up your character, you will be able to then start picking from different kinds of perks that they have applied to these characters. So you'll have your main ability for the one, and then when you click into them, you'll be able to switch around those perks. So it's kind of a DBD thing, but in a way that makes sense for those characters individually. So you'll unlock stuff for them individually. I don't think there will be any sharing of the perks, at least from what I've seen from people playing beta matches. I don't think for example, I don't think Pablo will be sharing any of Ash's perks per se. But it is interesting. It looks like that there's, from what I've seen, I didn't get to read or see into it, but it looks like each character, after you've played them for about a week or so, you're going to be unlocking all these different abilities and perks. Well, I guess just perks for the most part. All these perks on them. Maybe even abilities. I don't know yet. But that's just something we have to see as the game starts to release. And it's the same thing on the Kandarian Demon side. They start with an ability and then some perks to go along with it. This is exciting, though. This is exciting for the gameplay because now each character going in, you as a player, you can strategize who to play and what to use as a team going in to fight the Kandarian Demon. That's really fun. And then the Kandarian Demon, same thing. How are you going to strategize against the team depending on what they pick? You have to kind of strategize with what your abilities are. And so these things are really fun. It makes for an interesting sounding back and forth that could be really in depth for both Survivors and Kandarian Demon side. Now, quickly over here looking at the map. So on the Kandarian Demon side, if you watch that gameplay, they pull up a map at one point, and this is something that's a little bit concerning to me. So they're going with the Battle Royale approach, And you guys that are familiar with Battle Royale games, you'll know that locales and locations are basically separated into splots, So they're kind of sprinkled around the map randomly. You have your place, where are we going, all that kind of stuff. And this has me worried for Evil Dead the game in a way, because that means that these environments, these maps, are not going to be small, well thought out atmospheres. You know, for example, like in one game you'd have a high school map, or in one game you'd have a mental institution, and that's the map. Maybe a little bit of outside area, but you're kind of stationed into that map, and then that's how the game goes down, right? And it's a very well thought out atmospheric area. Well, with these areas, with these kinds of maps, everything's just kind of thrown in. Think of it like making a square grid, and then they just throw stuff in randomly. Like instead of it being like a well thought out atmospheric placed map, you're just kind of getting these splotched in areas. And the reason why I'm worried about it significantly is look down in the bottom middle of the map. It says Nobi Cabin. Now, Nobi Cabin, I'm pretty sure, is the Evil Dead cabin, because that's where Professor Nobi went to go read the incantations. That's where Ash and the rest of his friends went to go hang out, and they found the tape there. I mean, look where it's placed, though. Like, that has me a little bit concerned, right? You would think that the Nobi cabin would be out in the forest, out by itself somewhere, right? Like, you'd see it. You'd visualize it like being on the top right-hand corner of the map, way out by itself along this long-ass road, right? But no, instead it's placed right in the middle of the map, in between something circus cages and Misery Manor, and the tunnel is kind of, I can see the tunnel being close by the Nobi cabin, because, you know, you see them coming out of a tunnel in the second film to go to the cabin. But everything else, there's just so much close by the cabin. It's kind of weird, right? Maybe I'm wrong, you guys. Maybe I'm wrong, and Nobi cabin is just some random cabin, and it's not the Evil Dead cabin, and that's on a completely different map. Could be. I don't know. But I'm just guessing, like, when I look at the Nobi cabin and I see, like, it looks like there's a shed close by to it, and then it looks like there's another something else right by it, then I think that's just me thinking that that's the cabin. So I don't know. It's kind of weird that they would just randomly throw in locales on a randomized map. It makes it seem like it's just like all this stuff is going to be shoehorned into a map, right? And not really this atmospheric, thought out environment. That's my only worry. I think that's my only criticism about what I've seen so far, is the maps. I really do hope that, you know, as they go forward, you know, if they do a high school map, make the high school a big chunk of the map, you know, because that's going to be a big location. That's a big building going into the high school. And then you're going to be able to go through all the classrooms and all this other stuff. And then you'd have to be able to leave the high school. And how would that be, you know, going into the basement of the high school, coming up and going through the classroom, second floor, first floor, basement, but then also being able to leave the high school and then get in a car and go drive somewhere. Is that going to be a good map design? Like, how is it going to work? These are just questions that are, you know, going to come up. That brings me to the next issue. Are these developers going to, are the developers for this game going to give the game the SnowRunner treatment? Or are they going to give it the AAA Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, you know, those kinds of games treatment? And basically what I mean by that is this game going to get constant updates like SnowRunner did, where it's just patches and updates and updates and patches constantly? The developers really care about the game. They're giving it patch after patch after patch and DLC and updates and updates. And the devs are really on it with the community, right? Or is it going to get the Far Cry treatment where it's going to be like, hey, we got these 2 DLCs planned over the next 6 months and that's all you're getting, and then we're going to move on to the next project, right? You know, is it going to be like, hey, after 2 months you get this, you know, the WWE 2K22 treatment, where it's going to be like, hey, after 3 months you get this DLC, and then after 2 or 3 more months you get this DLC, and then that's it. And then they, you know, and then that's a one and done, and they move on to the next project. I hope that Evil Dead the game is not shaping up to get the, to get that AAA treatment. I hope it gets the DBD treatment, the Friday the 13th treatment, where the devs are on it and they're listening to the community and they're fixing problems. If people find something wrong in the meta, they're going in and fixing it pretty quickly and attending to the game. If people are out in the forums and stuff, and hopefully they start a Discord. There's no Discord for Evil Dead yet, and it's like a month away. Are they going to put in Coogie? Are they going to put in a high school map? Are they going to put in Ash's dad? Are they going to put in Lucy Lawless? Are they going to put Chet in? Is all this stuff going to be heard? What's going to happen with this game? How's it going to be maintained as the time goes forward? Is it going to be a serious investment, or is it going to be a one and done? Nobody knows. Those are the only things. I'm just kind of saying what's in my head. You guys know me. I will talk about anything and everything. Other than that, I'm really loving what I'm seeing. The animations are really cool. The back and forth seems like it could be really deep. The environments are cool. You got nighttime maps, you got sunset maps, you got winter maps, and then you got storming and rain. Like, I'll really love playing when it's raining and storming. That's going to be exciting. And then you have the little single player missions as a little extra bonus for when you want to try something different every once in a while. So, it's shaping up really nice. There's a lot of question marks still. But I am excited for what seems to be coming for the game. The maps, I really hope that they just don't have 2 maps and then that's it. I really hope that they're working on getting in places like Ash's house and the police. You guys can go back and watch my map possibilities video that talks about all the potential places that could end up in the game. The high school, El Brujo's place, I think the Pendergrass place is already, Mrs. Pendergrass is in, but there's all kinds, the high school, the police station, there's all kinds of places that they could get into the game somehow. But that said, I'm excited. I'll stop right there, you guys. I am excited. Let's hope that this game gets the treatment that it deserves and it's not just a one and done. I think that's my biggest worry. You guys have a good one. I will see you next time. This is Laphin. You can visit me on Twitch everywhere. Here, Twitter. Do it. I'll see you guys later. Subscribe. Do all that good stuff. Bye.